The button has now been clicked. Let's see what happens. Going to adjust my screen and we're live. Keith, would you like to say something?
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
The Texas Rangers have won the club's first World Series title in the franchise's 63-season history over the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is the 119th World Series game, and America has won every single fucking one. You tell us we're not the best country? Give me a break. You got to measure it somehow.
Show?
That's the end of sports section. Don't worry about that, Chemda. But I'll tell you what, I won Keith and the Girl poker again. When does this shit end? It's starting to get goddamn ridiculous. Let's get to the show. Today's guest, your favorite and ours, from Tell the Bartender, the Struggle Bus podcasts, Katharine Heller. Hello, Katharine.
Hello. I just want to say the Diamondbacks can go fuck themselves, because in 2001, when it was Yankees against Diamondbacks, after like New York City suffered the worst terrorist attack ever, it's like, come on, Diamondbacks, you could have let us have it, right? You know what I mean?
Rude. Yeah.
It was a little rude. It was a little rude. And the Yankees are all like, we're like, New York, New York. And everyone's like still sobbing. And the Diamondbacks are like, yeah, we won it. And we're like, fuck you, Arizona. Come on.
Yeah, we're crying out there. Unfortunately, that's the end of the sports corner, though.
Oh, Wells.
Oh, because now I have a question. What are Diamondbacks?
Snakes.
Oh, they are?
Rattlesnakes, right?
Okay, and now we're at the end of sports. Thank you.
That was Animal Corner. Into science.
Reptile Corner.
I saw Katharine not too long ago. She gets screeners. You know, she's in the biz, and got the screener for Louis C.K.'s "I Love You, Daddy." And finally, I made myself watch it. And you know I mentioned this before, but just to recap, it is so Louis C.K. making us think that what happened in the news with him jerking off to people didn't happen, even though he admitted that everything in the New York Times article, including taking his dick out in front of women, without consent, blocking women in a bathroom. People like to say now, like, oh, what, he breathed heavy maybe once on the phone? No, there's a list of fucking things. He admitted he did it, was going to look into it, realized it's easier to pretend you're bad boy canceled, and took all apologies
and
back.
Then made a movie about it where he basically admitted it. And watching a movie with Keith is amazing on many levels, especially a movie that Keith hasn't seen yet. But we're allowed to do commentary while eating popcorn and staring at the screen and just looking at each other like, what?
Yeah.
What? Did he just check his daughter out? Did that just happen?
Like, he's in it, but John Malkovich kind of plays him, it seems. And John Malkovich fucks underage girls, and then somebody goes, hey, is it true you're a celebrity in this movie? Are you fucking underage girls? Like, did you see me do it? He almost looks at the camera. It's like, hey, audience, did you see me do it? And it's like, I know what you're trying to do. Plus, it's so Woody Allen-esque. Why Woody Allen, of all fucking people, do you want to deliberately emulate with the black and white and the jazz? The whole thing was creepy and weird.
And remember the scene where they're in the ocean together and they like make love, but they don't, and they go in a helicopter, and it's like they did it, and it's like what?
John Malkovich and his young daughter, and Louis C.K.'s young daughter in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange, and I don't know how he thought it'd make him look good.
Yeah, it makes it look worse, to be honest. And also, just objectively, if I didn't know anyone in the movie, terrible movie. Just like,
right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if I didn't know anyone,
I forgot about that. Like,
it's just not a good movie. If you want to borrow the screener, ask me anything at SBK Heller. I can lend it to you.
Shit, I really don't know if I want to. I'm listening to you both. First of all, you're claiming like controversy out. It's still not a good movie. Then watching it, you're just grossed out by, I think, society in general. I'm upset about art about this because I get what you know, and it's a saying, right, and it's a saying for a reason, but you don't want to watch like horror movies and go, right. You don't want to watch like, I don't know. Now all of the movies have to be somewhat documentaries because of the sick minds behind it. And then at the same time, I'm like, but we want sick movies. I don't want the real shit to happen. But how are you going to get the information to write the dialogue? But you could do research. And all of this is like, this is why I watch terrible, bad, stupid ass fucking dumb movies, because it's like so far from reality that let me just fantasize about what could happen, not the reality of this shit. But no, I just went on a tangent over something. What does this have to do with me? You know,
I write personal shit all the time. Like, write what you know, you're so right. But like, I don't know, I don't touch kids. So like, there's that. And it's like, I can write about people who did it to me or like people who do it to other people. But when you do it, or when you do the thing, okay, you've just shown your entire self, and now you've shown yourself, and I don't know if I like it. So,
is there anything but showing yourself in art? Is there any other way of making art? Do you have to have these personal experiences behind it, or can you make art envisioning that? I'm not saying this is him envisioning. It sounds like things happened, but and Keith is going to go, things, to be clear, let me read the thing. He blocked someone, and yeah.
Well, Louis C.K. also has a joke where he talks about the audacity of Matt Damon, who wrote Good Will Hunting and made himself a goddamn genius. Hey, I'm just a lowly janitor, but I'll fuck around and, you know, fix all your physics problems on your chalkboard. It's like, what balls?
Okay.
And then in this movie, Louis C.K. somebody goes, you were just hailed by the New York Times as the greatest comedy screenwriter of all time. Is there pressure in that? It's interesting. Interesting.
Okay, but what about that? Is Matt Damon anywhere close to being a genius? Wouldn't he have to consult what it would feel like to be a genius and a janitor, you know, in a prestigious school? How did they get those stupid ass words? Maybe they just got the Boston part and someone else had to come in with the genius part.
To answer your question, collaboration is a great way to make really good art, right? So like
But do you have to get a pedophile if you're writing about a pedophile?
I mean,
maybe. Oh my God. Why would Google wake up from that? Okay.
Calling police.
Okay, Google, stop. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Well, I always say your Google has to get the last word. Okay, I'm done.
Right. It so does. My Siri does also. I told you about this before. So I turn on the flashlight so I could close all the lights and then get into bed and then just tell Siri to turn off the flashlight. But I always picture myself in some like, I'm hiding and my flashlight's on and everything's quiet. I'm trying to get away from like, you know, I'm at the end of a movie in a warehouse and all the things are about to happen. And I have to tell Siri to shut off the light. And I go, Siri, shut off the light. And then Siri shuts off the light and then goes, I turned it off. And I'm like, holy shit.
I turned it off yelling at you.
Shut up.
What if there's actually like an intruder in the house?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. I'll notice that the light is off. We will all notice. Quiet.
You get so much credit. It's like I pay monthly. Calm down. All right.
Just send me the receipt.
That's your thank you. Well,
Siri's all intruder. She is in bed.
When they do have these movies, though, and they do these, you know, long theories on the chalkboard, they never show the whole thing. So I don't think they really have to bother too much getting it right.
I don't know that this particular chalkboard. I hate to ruin that movie for you, but like I watched that whole movie 5 million times. Full chalkboard with just things that look like stars and dots on them.
And you tried to figure out if it was real.
Right.
Did you see Oppenheimer when he's like, and then this and that, and I'm like, I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, get to dropping the motherfucking.
Get to dropping the bomb.
Katharine showed me something even sicker than the movie, though. When we were watching the movie, she has a cyst on her knee, and I understand it didn't really skeeve me out. It seemed grosser to you, but now you're saying it got so big and it's scary, and doctors kind of don't even want to touch it, but it obviously needs removed. And you're getting something done tomorrow. What is this, and how bad did it get?
Okay, so long story short, it's a synovial cyst that started on the front of my leg. I had surgery. It keeps coming back. It's dripping, and
this has been going on for a while,
for years. Yeah. So it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and pressure and pressure and pressure. And then they finally took an MRI. Turns out, and this is the rare part because it's not uncommon to get like a Baker's cyst, synovial cyst from arthritis, things like that. But it's now growing on the inside of my knee. So it looks like a squid on the MRI, and it's so rare that all the doctors are like, whoa, when they look at the MRI, and it's really gross and disgusting. If it were cancerous, I'd need either an amputation or a knee replacement. No doctors want to touch it because it's sitting directly on a major nerve And if they remove it, and they did remove the first part of it years ago, and now they don't want to touch it because
Sorry, does it sound like it's not cancerous though? Do you know that?
It's not cancer for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
1,000%. It's just a cyst. I'm very sebaceous, which is why I look young for my age. What? But if they were to try to remove it again and accidentally hit the nerve, I could lose the use of my legs. So what's happening tomorrow, the best they can do, and the only side effect is it will come back in a couple years because it's dripping and growing. They're going to drain it with a guided sonogram, which is like popping a zit. And if you look it up, it's kind of fucking cool. And I get to watch it. I can be awake. It's not surgery. It's a procedure. I've had MRIs, x-rays, and all the things. And everyone's like, this is wild. Can't wait to touch it. And I'm like, cool. But it'll be over in 2 hours. And I'm looking forward to it because the pressure is so painful.
When you say drip, do you mean like pus on the inside or something leaking?
Yeah. So it's slowly, there's liquid dripping from my knee that has been growing over the years.
I see.
And just keeps spreading. And so it's very painful.
Oh,
do you hide it like during sex? Do you have an angle?
I actually have been avoiding. I have a hard time showing it to partners. And when I do the show I'm in front of children, I hide it because I don't want kids asking about it. Because like it's awkward to look at. It's very weird to look at.
that's
Do you act
also
like you're
tough
doing
doggy
kinky
style.
doggy style? Do you act like you're doing kinky stuff? Put on knee braces?
I can't do certain things, and I pretend I'm like, ooh, let's try this, and not that.
Let's sideways fuck constantly.
Kinda, yeah. That's basically it. But hey.
Mimi has a point. 1 in a million medical people in the room. Does Keith feel even luckier now?
Yeah, the more people, when I find out somebody has cancer or a cyst or something like this, any C word, I try to make friends with them and I make sure that we're close because it's like 1 out of 5 people get cancer, let's say. So if I find out you have cancer, I make friends with you immediately, and that ups my chances of not getting it. So it is good to keep in touch with you.
Yeah, and again, it's like I'm really grateful it's not anything worse. It's just more extremely inconvenient. As you know, any sort of medical condition takes a lot of time and hours out of your day. And I've seen so many surgeons who just want to meet me. And they're like, I'm not touching it, but I still want to meet you because this is really weird. And I'm like, cool. Like my MRI actually says multi-pronged in the report. It looks like a squid. It looks like literally my entire knee has been taken over by this animal. And so we named it Carol. And
shout out to Carol's.
You got to, why not? So Carol's going to be around for the rest of my life, likely. But tomorrow, Carol's going to get mostly drained and I'll have at least a year of no pressure. So
a doctor's like, you ask them, so you'll be working on me? No, I'm a pediatrician. I just had to see this fucking thing. That's crazy.
No joke. That actually did happen. Somebody came in. They go, hi, I'm not even a doctor. I just needed to see.
I'm the janitor, but I could be a genius,
Oh, it was Matt Damon. That's so weird.
Right. Did you incorporate it into a Halloween costume?
No, I was Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Okay. Do you get
you
into
could look so much like Velma,
which is hilarious because she's the the ugly nerdy one. But when I dressed up and I was in the New York New Futurist show this weekend, so I had to walk through the East Village dressed as Velma. I can't tell you how many drunk young people were like, "We love you, Velma," and I'm like, and they're like, "We love you in the movie," because they don't know the TV show. The 20-year-olds from NYU know the movie. And then there was a sexy Velma on the train, and we took a selfie together. And she was like 18 years old, and she's like, "I'm sexy Velma," and I'm like, I don't even know you.
But we were talking about it, how like shows in the 80s, the ugly chick was always super hot. She was just a brunette. That's it. She was brunette. Maybe she had shorter hair, or like they dressed her not as feminine.
Yeah.
And
I got so hit on the street, and I'm 47 years old, and I'm walking through the East Village at 2 a.m, heading home from a show, and everyone's like, "Velma, I love you." Hot men and women who were like hugging me and inviting me to their parties. I was like, did I miss something when I was in my 20s?
It gets uncomfortable sometimes. I would be at bars and I would lower a woman's hair and take her glasses off and then be like, no. And then just put the glasses back on and walk away. That was awkward because it's not all Hollywood sometimes. You got your hair cut. You chopped off a lot.
I chopped off about 5 inches. Yeah, SAG after strike. No one cares what I look like anymore. I'm just doing voiceover work. What's up?
You get a lot of compliments?
No, not at all. Nobody notices except for you two.
Do you try to like flip it while you're talking to people? You know, like a woman gets her nails done and she's got to keep touching her face or reaching for pens for no reason.
Yeah, my downstairs neighbor noticed, and one person in my theater company, but the rest, and we're on a business call on Zoom, and I kept flipping my hair, and like no one said a word. And I was like, "Does it look bad?" Because when someone does a change in their appearance, and you don't want to insult them. So I spent like a good 2 months of my tummy hurting, being like, maybe they hate it.
That sucks, but I could understand that, but it looks so pro done. It looks like you just came back from a salon. I fucking love it.
Thank you, Devere. Devere's my hairstystist.
It sounds like a hairstylist name.
Yeah.
It's
fake. His real name is Greg.
Greg doesn't do hair like that.
You got to play the game.
Yeah.
Maybe people don't know if you can compliment. Like maybe it means your hair was bad before, you know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking right now, for whatever reason, I saw an article on Kelly Clarkson, and she lost so much weight, and everybody's talking about it. But like, is it clear you were kind of overweight before, though? Like, are you allowed to say something?
That's a really good point. I have friends who have made changes in their appearances, and I don't want to make a big deal out of it, right? I don't want to be like, oh my God, you lost weight, you look amazing, right? But then they maybe want me to notice, but I don't want to say anything. So that's actually a good point. Maybe they hated my hair before, and they're happy that I took care of it finally.
Right. You got, with all your adventures.
I see you got your hair abortion.
Right.
I don't want to say.
It was within 6 weeks, not 15, okay?
Right.
Don't judge.
You got COVID again.
Sure did. I got it around the time Kenda had it. I had it in mid-September. It was bad. This one was bad.
So bad.
Right? I had a hard time breathing. I thought about going to the hospital. I still have a residual cough. It's been like 6 weeks. I was testing positive for 2.5 weeks, even though I was better. God. I took Paxlovid, fever, exhaustion, gastro, not to get into it, but vomiting, diarrhea. I said it. It was really, really bad. It was really bad, this one. And so everyone's like, COVID's over. It's like, yes, it felt more like a really bad pneumonia plus flu, but that doesn't mean it's not good. And it could hurt elderly people. I have 2 elderly people in my life who got extremely sick from it. And then, a mutual friend of ours did pass from it.
It's so, right. It's so fucking scary. And it also, sorry to bring this into it, financially, it's, you could get crippled from it. You're saying 2.5 weeks. You can't go to the supermarket. You're trying not to get people sick. You can't get your own shit. So either you're relying on people to like go and leave it at your doorstep, or you're ordering a lot and you're so tired that you can't cook for yourself. It's like, and you're vegan. So your food, for some reason, even though it omits everything, costs way more.
Well, you say that now, but I was so sick that I did. Whenever I'm sick or get surgery or anything, I eat meat because my body is craving it.
Okay.
So I did go back to eating chicken. I had a little bit of steak just because my body was just craving food. I couldn't keep anything down. I had to eat really.
I had to have au poivre. I had to get the creamed spinach. Katharine,
the tiramisu,
fresh oysters from the garden. I mean, I had to send my gardener out.
Thank God it was Dollar Oyster Day.
Speaking of octopus, that story you told about the octopus that killed a man, my goodness. Good for the octopus. Sorry.
Yeah, you deserve it, I think. Well, by the way, going back real quick, speaking of Emmy, who passed away, and it sounds like alone in her apartment from COVID, you can see that happening now. After you had it so bad, you can see not being able to make it to the hospital or what, or thinking that it's not that serious, but of course it is.
I made a point of, and hearing that story was really horrific because I knew Emmy as well. And it's just, I am a very proud person who lives alone, but my neighbors and we take care of each other. And I have a great family nearby. And I decided I'm going to give a call every 6 hours. And if you don't hear from me every 6 hours, call me back or call my neighbor, because there was a point where I was coughing so hard, I couldn't breathe.
Wow.
Damn. And it was only a few days. I was taking Paxlovid. I was checking in on myself. I was setting my own alarm to be like, if you don't wake up, but I could see that. I could see that happening where all of a sudden you choke on your own coughing. Right. And like I said, I coughed so hard I was vomiting, and it's who knows what, what's to happen there. Sorry to get into it, y'all. We should do a content for this, but
you're a fucking mess.
Yeah. Oh, totally. But my hair looks amazing.
Great hair. Looks nice. Great hair. Nice.
I'm feeling a lot better now, but it was a tough one this cycle, which is why when people say COVID's over, it's it's not, y'all. Everyone
Yeah, the
No,
one I
just-
got last year was so much easier. This time, I actually several times had the thought, oh, this is how people die of this.
Yeah, I remember hearing you talk about that. Yes.
So weird. It's, I shouldn't say it's weird, but, you feel it and it becomes that much more amplified.
Did you have it once and you lost hearing for a while or still?
Oh, I still have permanent tinnitus in my left ear. That's a long hauler thing. Yeah.
Wow. So,
Yeah,
so I
fun,
take,
huh?
I take the boosters and whatnot, and I'm like, all right, we got to live. But you know how it can affect you so bad. How careful do you get?
We when I'm in the show, we test twice a week, which is really important. We still make the audience members wear masks, and I still wear a mask on the subway and indoors. But other than that, living my life because there's only so much you can do. I am also vaccinated and boosted, and hoping for the best. And at the same time, I haven't caught the flu or a cold in a while, so that's nice. So masks are
call upon the gods. The
yeah.
fuck?
But I mean, yeah, I'm just being careful, but also at the same time being realistic when I hang out with friends. Like when I came to your house to watch I Love You, Daddy, I wanted to wear a gas mask to watch the movie just for my emotional state. But we didn't wear masks in front of each other. We hung out together. We went to a restaurant together afterwards. Like I still do life, but understanding that, in some spaces, I just want to make sure if I don't want to give it to anyone else, right? On the off chance I have it.
Sure.
So,
All right. What time surgery tomorrow?
Just give it to Keith.
They say surgery's at 10, but I got to get there at 8, and I can't eat or drink anything past 12 because that's like gremlin hour. So
2 hours.
What do you mean?
You got to get there at 8 and the procedure's at 10?
Yeah, because I got to sign you in, and then they sit you down and bring
They got to sign you in. You got to find a seat. Yeah, they really don't want to wait on you for anything.
It's so weird. They make you show up so early, and then they make you sit there for like an hour. You know how it is when you get surgery.
Sure. And it's weird that whenever you had your surgery, it wouldn't matter if it's 4 p.m. or 10 in the morning. The cutoff for food is midnight that night before, always. The body knows.
They're not even putting me under. It's just lidocaine. I'll be awake the whole time. It's like, I'm gonna drink coffee before. Okay, so don't tell them. It's fine.
Sure, but it's just funny midnight, like you're a gremlin.
Exactly. Yeah, and then they say don't get wet as well.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah.
That's the weird part.
And
no lights, no bright lights.
Right.
I'm having my first mammogram tomorrow.
Your first?
I know. That's what my doctor said. She was like, when was your last one? I was like, I haven't had one yet. She goes, what? And I'm like, I'm sorry. There was COVID and I had a tumor and I thought they were checking my chest. And I thought that counted because my breasts were right there. And she's like,
Oh my God. If you have any questions on the side, just let me know. I have so many answers.
In a way, I have questions, but I'm going to leave them behind and just because I don't want to know because all I know is very bothersome. So I'm going to pretend I don't know that and just go there and have a nice drink afterwards. And by drink, I mean like a coffee or something, a milkshake or something special. I like to leave myself afterwards with something nice because I had to go through the trauma of whatever the fuck.
It'll be over before you know it.
What would the questions be? Is it uncomfortable? Yes. And the questions. What do? They sandwich your tits, right? Some machine?
Yeah. They panini it, not just sandwich.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it painful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not one.
Anybody. You're the only one who had one, I think. Did you have one?
Oh, many. Yeah.
Right. You love it.
So good. I go back just for fun. I go back to Sloan Kettering, best cancer hospital in the world. And I'm like, give me another one.
It's so difficult to go there and go, we have been to the moon. I do believe that. But you are squishing my tits.
Right.
To find out if there's cancer in them. You saw everywhere the tumor was inside of my chest, but those MRIs and those x-rays had nothing to you must squish my boobs to find this one.
Can I give you one piece of good news? Because the last time I got one was recent. They've updated the test to make it less painful and shorter.
I'm not believing that. I'm just going to pretend it's an hour long of people punching me in the boobs.
Nope, it's about 15 minutes, and they found a way to actually
even
make
long.
it.
That's long.
It's pretty long.
A long time.
It's a long fucking time.
Somebody's fucking with my balls for 15 minutes. They don't even do that during sex. Jesus. That's a long time.
Well, it's out there squishing it.
You gonna tip your doctor? I was saying this yesterday. I was in Hawaii once. I cracked a rib or bruised a rib. I go to see a doctor. They can only wrap it up and give you pain pills. There was a line for a tip after just like you sign and then a tip thing. And I'm like, I had to pay cash or whatever and then insurance later. But then there's a little spot for a tip. I'm like, today I tip a fucking doctor.
Wait, a cash tip?
A cash tip. Yeah. They wanted
No,
a
there
tip.
was Oh, you gave them cash and they gave you
a receipt. Like they gave me the bill. I paid it. And but there was a line for tip that I had to cross out
on the bill. Holy shit.
Yeah, because they know it'd be embarrassing to bring it up, so it's just on paper. Do it.
Are you sure they weren't going to ask you? Can we just touch the tip of your?
It is a party place, Maui.
That's what I'm saying. That place is wild. I've been there.
I was saying this yesterday. I get so confused. I was at a mani-pedi place. I don't know what you tip there. I don't know what you tip for a massage. I don't know what you tip a handyman, and I don't know what you tip a delivery guy that brings a full couch. I don't like that you can't find the rules online. People rate these articles that they get paid for, obviously going by word count. There's no number in it. They just go, and if they did a good job, do what's right. It's like, you motherfuckers, nobody knows. And I put this as the poll for yesterday. Do you sometimes feel uncomfortable not knowing how much to tip in certain situations? 70% said yes. 30% said no. And I find the no too high at 30%. Who are these fucking weirdos?
And read the question again.
Do you sometimes feel uncomfortable not knowing how much to tip in certain situations? Of course I do.
And in certain situations, which means everyone who said they don't feel uncomfortable, you all just know what to tip. And here's the thing.
Can they rate it on the forums? Rate each of these jobs that aren't, we're not talking being a waiter. We all know 20%. But even delivery, or your Uber driver, and he did that. But when are you 30%? Can you organize it so you guys can give me the fucking answers?
Well, you were a bartender. I mean, we all worked at tip jobs, but
you knew food, and assume $1 a drink, and if you get, I understand there's some places that the bartender has to, the waiter has to tip out a bartender, blah blah blah. Well, I can't do that kind of math. You know the general rule, and that's good enough for me. But these other side jobs that are different that you don't do every day, I have no fucking idea.
Katharine, are you ever confused?
Yeah. No, not at all. 20 to 30%. 20 to 30%.
But what if, okay, so I had a coffee, 20 to 30% is under $1.
If you went to a cafe and they just made it for you, maybe like $1, $2 or whatever.
See, we're changing it already.
Yeah.
Right. What do you mean? Depends. Yeah. How did you vote?
But if they come to your house, like, definitely tip them. If they're delivering
now
a thing.
Tip them what?
Now there's if then. So if every time there's an if then, it changes everything. So 20 to 30%, of course.
Yes.
But
delivery, I mean, like delivering furniture, putting furniture together, all this stuff. You think it's always 20-30%?
Yeah.
I had a guy deliver we're getting our refrigerator died. So there's a person coming to the landlord paid for it, but they're delivering without the landlord there. Do I tip that person and a refrigerator? I'm not tipping 20%, am I?
I usually give like $20 or something cash just as a thank you, because that person is not getting paid tipped. It's just a nice gesture.
So I do. So that's $20, or is it a percent?
No, that's like $20. That's a thank you. Yeah. If your landlord's paying for it, to me, it's like judgment. Just use your best judgment and understand that someone is showing up and doing a thing.
Yeah. See, I think I'm going to ask the landlord about that, because I don't want to, because I'm fuck around and without a fridge for 3 days in New York City.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
That's it's all of my groceries, all of the shit that lasts forever now didn't, now I'm going to tip someone. So what I want to say to my landlord, and they're really good landlords, what I want to say is, did you tip them already?
That's a good call. Yeah. You know what? My fridge also died during pandemic, and I hate the maintenance guy who comes over. He's a fucking asshole. He always asks where my husband is.
Ew.
Which is disgusting, because ew. So no, I never tip him. No, he's a fucking asshole. So that's different. But yeah, if it's a nice person who you never met before, sometimes it's a nice gesture. But I think you're right. You should ask the landlord to tip that person.
Pumpkin wrote, yes. How much am I supposed to tip my monthly house cleaning service? It's never the same person, so I don't know if they did a good job until after I tip. They send me the invoice while I'm at work. I tip 18%. I don't know, she says. And
That's
you
fair.
know what? And even like in other countries too, like I hate in Europe, they brag like we pay our people. You don't have to tip. But I see that people do tip. And I'm not shy. When I'm the foreign person, I'll turn to regular civilians eating beside me and be like, hey, I'm new here. Do we tip? It's like, if you want, you know, whatever's, however you feel. I mean, that's not a fucking, why would I feel it if you don't do it? I'll do it if you do it. I don't feel it. And do I tip you for talking to you now if I feel it? When does it end?
It's also so passive aggressive. I don't know if you want to.
Right.
I've asked like at a salon or something. I'm like, listen, I don't know how much activities do. And they're like, well, if they did a good job. I'm like, come on, okay. Yes, I'm standing here paying a bill, asking how much to tip. So they probably did a good job. And even if they didn't, I'm asking you about a tip. So I'm going to.
Appia said we only tip she's in Germany, right? Because we only tip here in a sit-down restaurant, and even that is more symbolic. What is a number for symbolic? What does it mean when I don't symbolize? You know, you just it's nice and you feel it. Look, I need answers. Appia said it's not so bad. The workers are paid a living wage and have universal health care. When the bill is 36, you do 40, you round up a bit. Okay, but that sounds like a decent amount of money you just gave for people that don't need it. What if it's $19.90 and I leave a 20? And then she goes, well, you don't do that. That'd be rude. What the fuck is happening around the world? Well, 10 cents would be low. For what? Apparently they're millionaires.
Oh my God. Could we call this episode Tipping Ain't Easy? I'm writing it down.
It sure ain't fun.
Have you heard about those churches that hand out to their communities at church cards to hand out to waiters that are like, here's your tip, come to our community church on Sunday.
Ew.
And it's like, I'm sorry, can I give my landlord this for rent? Because
Right.
How about if I give this right back to the church?
Thanks
your
for the tip.
Mhm.
Yeah, speaking of tip, I'm pissing in the holy water. Fuck off. DoorDash made this news today that you won't get your food, or you'll get it later than you normally would if you don't tip.
Oh, I believe that, because here's what I think is happening.
I thought they found out later, though, after the fact. I guess not.
Oh, see, I thought because all of the delivery guys hang out together at the same time, and it's like, how are you doing this? And then you just leave one at a time. Doesn't matter. I thought they're all looking at it, which one is worth picking up. And if you tip low or not at all, they get to choose a different person. And it's no longer like the restaurant. If it was the pizza place and they had a guy, you can call the pizza place and go, where's my pizza? But it's a guy that has to choose your restaurant and your delivery.
Right.
Yeah, when I tip better, it comes faster. Sorry, y'all. That's real.
Hungry diners may be forced to wait longer for their DoorDash orders if they choose not to tip the deliverer when the order is placed. Now, of course, I tip the delivery guy, but it's just funny. It's mandatory. Orders that take longer to be accepted by Dashers tend to result in a slower delivery, they're saying. DoorDash pays Dashers between $2 and $10 per delivery, depending on the distance traveled to make a delivery.
Okay.
They get to keep 100% of all tips. The firm says customers can tip in cash at their door, but they too would have to wait longer for their food because the delivery guy doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Necessarily. Maybe you put it in your notes, you know, if you don't want him, like the government taking 1% or the credit card's taking 1% of your tips and you want to give cash, I guess put it in special delivery instructions.
Can I ask you guys this? And I don't want to, but is $5 good on like a $50 delivery food thing?
I think so.
I think so.
But what about 20 to 30% you just said?
That's just 10%, right?
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, so you're right. There's different categories.
That's not even 10%.
He or she is carrying the food to your place within a certain amount of time. $5 is a good amount of money depending on the distance. So now we're getting into distance, but
I got to look at a map now. I don't know directions. Or I get my food. I don't know how to find my food.
That's why I always only order within 10 blocks from me because I don't want to deal with
I need an old school map and a ruler.
Oh, I never look at the map because I figure if they're willing to deliver to my area, they can that's in the radius. I figure there's just a radius.
I just want it when I want it, and I want it fast. So I always so long as they're 10 blocks away, I know I'm getting it within like 10 minutes.
It would be really fun to have a budget to fuck around with this. Tip $100, see if the bell rings as soon as you hit enter. but order sushi every time.
Right. They're mixing it in the bowl as they're riding. I'm like, I knew you could have been faster. A Utah man was infuriated, of course, when he ordered a milkshake from Grubhub. He ordered fries and a milkshake from Chick-fil-A. But the milkshake wasn't a milkshake. It was urine. He drank urine instead of what he thought was a milkshake that he ordered from Grubhub.
Straight urine?
Caleb Woods ordered fries and a milkshake from Chick-fil-A off the Grubhub app, but knew something was up when he, quote, took a sip from the beverage that he claims made him sick afterwards, especially if it's a milkshake. You really suck that in, right?
Yeah.
He's lucky it was just urine, though, for a milkshake, if you catch my drift.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
When I started eating my meal...
Keith's drift.
When I started eating my meal upon delivery, I put a straw in my cup. That was I don't know how you wouldn't notice though. I put at least that it's not milkshake.
If it was urine in the milkshake, I wouldn't notice. But if it was lemonade looking and I imagine warm,
it was warm. God. It was warm, no joke. When I started eating my meal upon delivery, I saw a straw. I put a straw in my cup that was delivered and took a sip. I soon discovered that the cup delivered to me from the Grubhub driver was a warm cup of urine. He immediately called the driver back to his house. Really? I'm not showing up. Goodbye. I quit. And let him have it on the phone for basically poisoning him with a cup of piss.
But how does he know it's him? If it's a clean cup with no milkshake and urine, that's
footage from Wood's home security camera shows the moment. So they're showing it didn't make it up. Shows the moment the Grubhub driver returns to the home and comes face to face with him. Did you confuse the cups? Because, like, dude, it's a half full of pee. He holds the styrofoam cup while approaching the driver outside. Do you realize this is pee? Wood says the driver expressed to him what happened and told him he had 2 styrofoam cups in the car, but confused his milkshake for the urine-filled cup. No. I also, while I was looking at this story, I believe it because he's talking about security footage. And when I was looking at this story, other things popped up that in the past, drivers are fighting for restaurants to have to let them use the bathroom.
Yep.
Where would you use a bathroom? You got to find a Starbucks. You got to drive back home. I believe they piss in cups. Yeah. If you're on a moped, you piss in the street.
Same with Amazon delivery people. There's so much bottles filled with urine outside my apartment because they throw them out because they don't have time or a place to pee and they're under a certain amount of time to deliver groceries and things like that. I
see those a lot around the city. Mm-hmm. The urine bottles, it's obviously urine bottles. But I get that. I do get that. Yes, that it could be his. I don't get how it's not delivered only because, and I get like not paying attention. Who cares what drink it is? I'm not paying attention that it's a milkshake, but you put it in where there's meals separated in your thing. Now there's how many styrofoam cups are you buying? Why are you peeing in styrofoam cups? And then you're putting not a lid on it, you're putting a straw lid on it. And then you
have to secure it. Did you secure it in the
next to the rest of the
next to
items?
The rest of the stuff, and then you took the wrong one out, but that wouldn't be warm. It'd be cold if anything.
But that's a lot of mind slip. It's a lot.
But if let's say it was deliberate, that you came back you wouldn't come back.
Right.
You say I can't. Well, I can't believe it. Why are you lying?
It sounds like he was apologetic about it. So
right,
good for him, I guess.
Well, that's why I think it happened.
I wouldn't show up. I'd be like, bye.
Yeah, well, no kidding. I work for Seamless now. The driver also admitted he clocks long hours and relieves himself in the car because he doesn't really take bathroom breaks.
I believe that. I believe a lot of people pee in their cars. Uber drivers, a lot. There's nowhere to pee in New York.
Wood said he called Grubhub to get his money back. Quote, I think the order cost like $25. They refunded like 18, the actual cost of the food. They didn't refund the delivery fee or the tip that I gave.
Oh. Cute.
Well, he got to still keep the tip, I guess. I mean, he did work, you know.
And he's not suing anybody?
It wasn't mentioned.
That's really nice of him. You know?
Ugh, I'd send you a doctor's bill. I don't care if it's for a mammogram. You get a bill from my fucking doctor.
You just pay my next copay.
Right.
Do something, man.
But haven't you received things with, like, say, a cockroach in it or something like that?
Yes.
Because I have.
Sure.
Like
Yes.
that, it happens. You know, restaurants are kind of dirty and gross sometimes. It's
Yeah,
not
but
necessarily.
you don't eat the cockroaches.
By
you drank
accident,
the
I did
pee.
once. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. It was
I
a
believe
stink
that.
bug. I had half of it and I vomited everywhere and called the restaurant just to let them know. And they were like, "Oh, we'll refund you and send you more food." I was like, "No, I'm good. Just to let
We're
you
good
know
for the day.
just to let you know." You got some
Okay.
stink bugs in your stuff. Don't send me anything. No need to refund me. My hedge fund paid for it. Just have a good day.
Fuck, what are stink bugs? Now I gotta look that up. Fuck.
Oh, they're yeah. Look it
I
up.
shouldn't look it up, should
No,
I?
don't. No, don't.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not
Yeah,
doing it.
my office found me dry heaving in my my garbage pail at my cubicle.
And I don't even think, I bet they don't even make you that sick, especially with how much you ate them. I bet
It was
you can eat
seeing
a
the half
couple.
of it after
Of
I chewed
course.
into it and was like, what am I chewing? Oh, bleh.
Right. Yeah. I don't think it's the food at that point. Like, I don't think it was
Nah.
the urine that made that guy throw up, because
The thought of it.
Exactly. That's a gag reflex that's worse than bad milk actually drink.
Yeah, I don't want to look up what she ate. If something was called a stink puppy, I wouldn't want to look at it. Here's a letter from Jerry and Kathy, a couple that listen to Keith and the Girl. Help! We are both listeners of the show. We recently got into another fight about the same thing and decided that it's Keith and the Girl show that will decide. If you're okay with
Yes.
it, please read this and let us know who is correct.
Let's make this the poll, whatever it is.
For the record, we are both VIP members and have our own accounts. We
Oh,
love
yeah.
Keith and the Girl and have agreed to agree with you. We
Fuck.
each
Okay.
wrote our part. We flipped a coin to decide who will start, and we can only rebut one time.
Love
so
it.
one says, then another, and then the other one, and then blah, blah, blah. From Kathy. Jerry spends too much time on takeout. He orders 5 days a week, and it adds up. So, by the way, I order a lot, but I think I waste more food when I buy food for myself, guessing what I'm gonna want to eat. And, and by the way, if you like,
we don't need the witness yet.
Well, I'm just saying, if I order, because I do order a lot, but I don't think I'm wasting money. If I get like bagel and lox, and let's say in New York it's $10. If I bought all the ingredients, the lox are easily over $5 by itself. Not only financially, but health-wise. Not to mention the office party garbage they feed them because it's always someone's birthday or they celebrate something. Well, easy. I think the spending is too much and our health is declining because of it. That was Kathy. Jerry's turn. Kathy loves when we order takeout. This lying bitch. I'm just kidding. We end up
we got to know what she's really saying.
Right. Kathy loves when we order takeout. We end up snuggling on the couch afterwards and not having to do the dishes. As far as health, I don't see her choosing salads when we order.
Oh, shit.
And as for finances, who cares? We have enough money to cover everything, including the takeout. I don't see what the problem is.
These are great points. Can we just pause right here?
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see it. Kathy says we would have more money if we didn't eat out. We could still snuggle on the couch, and maybe we can go on vacation next year with the money we didn't spend.
Okay.
Yeah, food still costs money though in grocery stores. Jerry says every time we order out, we're on vacation. I'd rather have 5 vacations a week than once a year. And the Girl, you decide.
I want to be in this throuple. I love them.
Yeah, right.
I will pay for your takeout if we can all snuggle on the couch together.
Oh my God, we should add a third option. The third option is keep going, but Catherine's invited.
And paying for it. I will get a third job to hang out with you two.
All right. So Kathy's saying it sounds like it's just she thinks she's spending too much money. She's throwing health in there, which is interesting. It doesn't sound like that's the real problem.
Well, here's the thing. I try not to order delivery at all because it adds up. It's like the tax, the tip, and then there's like I pay for Seamless monthly, although maybe I shouldn't anymore because during the pandemic I was ordering at least once a week and that adds up. But so I pay for the Seamless. So there's no delivery fee, but you still have to tip. And then there's still like sometimes a $1 to $5 random fee. that's different. So all of a sudden, it's $10 more than what the actual food costs. So it bugs me now.
I can relate to this popular little video that's going around. It's called Changing of the Guards, and they take a box of those mixed salad grains out of the fridge crisper, right in the garbage, put a brand new one right back in the crisper. I'm like, I hear you loud and fucking clear.
Oh, so that's my point. When I order, I want to order a well-rounded meal. I want to have a salad and the pasta and the soup course because I want it to make sense that I'm ordering out. But every salad is like twice what a burger, 3 times what a burger is. To pick healthy foods from takeout will cost you 2 to 3 times the amount. And you're like, oh, it's takeout, all right, it's a pizza place. So my salad is either mozzarella cheese and tomatoes or a bunch of lettuce with some olives and onions, because that's what they call their stupid ass tossed salad with a wedge of tomato. Unless you're ordering from like Sweet Green, where, you add chickpeas and you add $1 to it. Then you add like, what are those spears called? The asparagus is an extra 75 cents. And once you have a salad that's actually different things in it, a salad, it's literally $20. Or I can get 4 burgers, 5 fries, 3 milkshakes, and some pee. I mean, that's a big difference.
Also, I have this weird undiagnosed or ever talked about disease called I want to eat when I want, when I'm in the mood for it at that exact moment.
Right.
And okay, so as an example, a neighbor of mine is out of town and she's like, oh, does somebody want my home chef homemade meals? They're all vegetarian, super healthy. And I was like, oh, I took the box yesterday. Have I made a single home chef meal or have I ordered in some totally shitty, greasy stuff? Because that's what I'm in the mood for. 1000%. Am I going to eat any of those? I don't know. They're still in there. Right. Do I love cooking? Yes. Am I in the mood for it? Not right now.
See, so that's the whole thing. Like, no, I'm not ordering a salad when we order takeout and then watch you eat wings and pizza. How fun for me. It's a difficult choice once we decide on takeout. Now, whose side am I on? Take 3 vacations and 2 deliveries a week. But one of those vacations, you have to bike there. And the other one is camping. The third one could be a 3-day cruise.
3 days a week and you have to take her out.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
Okay. And then maybe once a week you make dinner together.
It sounds like that wasn't an option for either of them.
Yeah, okay.
They sound sweet. Let's not ruin them, What
I tried.
Yeah, they're really trying here.
Do you want a Green Chef box? Because I've got...
All right, but my polls.
Right?
I don't. Yeah. My polls. I don't give any time for leeway. Everything's black or white, and you got to pick somebody, and that's it. That's on the audience.
Ooh, so it's who's right? This guy
who's right? One person has to be right. That's what they want. They want answers, not 20 to 30%, depending on the situation and how you feel. They want answers.
So should we say who we're going to pick? And Keith, are you picking her side because you're saying to lower the amount?
I say his side. It doesn't sound like money's an issue, and you were trying to trick me with that. And the health, come on.
I'm going with Kathy because we have the same name.
Okay. All right.
Fuck. Okay. I'll tell you later.
I'm going, so I'll go Team Jerry because money really isn't the issue. So you were trying to bamboozle me on that.
But what about the holiday, the trips?
And if it's health, you should have added your height and weight.
Oh my God.
Huh? All right. Anyways, it's up to the audience. It's out of my hands.
Okay, well, that'll be the poll. We'll put the poll up on the Keith and the Girl Reddit and the Keith and the Girl forums.
Katharine Heller, you could follow her online, KatharineHeller.com. Katharine with all the A's, you know that.
All the A's.
What else should people know?
I'm going to be in the New York Neo Futurist Best of show the first weekend of December, best of the year, all of our stuff. And we are moving out of the Crane Theater. We're going into our 20th year. We've been 15 years at the Crane. We're moving to a new theater, which will be announced very shortly. It will be in New York City. And we're so excited to have you back. But follow us at nyf.org. We make cool art and it's funky and fun and we get naked on stage.
I love that. Start with that. Anyways, I'll see you then. Katharine, thank you so much. It's great seeing you again.
Thank you.
That's it. Stick around, but I'm just going to close up in a second.
I'm just going to read random stuff. And if we know what it goes to, then great. Anna says causing equals saying. Okay.
Causing equals saying. I don't know that.
Anna says pro less takeout. So we know what she's saying.
Okay.
Also says, I love Spears. Thank you. Any version. The Britney
Spears.
version, the green asparagus version. Spears are great. All right, you guys. You know to press all the buttons in front of you.
Is that why they're called
know.
asparagus?